Listen and tell me all your thoughts on God, 'cause I'd really like to meet her and ask her why we're who we are. And tell me all your thoughts on God, 'cause I'm on my way to see her. So tell me, am I very far? Am I very far now? Am I very far now?
Hey everybody, so listen, I'm re-recording this video. I've already recorded it late last night and I decided I'm going to redo it because I was just so exhausted and quiet and I was rambling and it was just dumb. So, sorry I've been MIA for the past week and a half, almost 2 weeks. We've had a lot going on. The last week of my short week for work, or weekend, we had to go back down to Waverly, my hometown, and my sister graduated. Autumn, the baby of the family, has graduated high school. Wow! So that's super exciting. She's finally an adult now, and yeah, it's super exciting for the family and also super stressful. You know, just a lot of emotional things going on there. And let's see, what else went on? So Autumn graduated and we went down there for the weekend and helped Mom with the graduation party and helped Autumn get ready for her ceremony, you know, all kinds of fun stuff. And so if any of you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you guys probably saw a handful of photos from that celebration. My great aunt and uncle actually came from Missouri, so I got to visit with them for a while, which was pretty awesome. So, needless to say, no videos were being made or uploaded. Then it was really just a family time. And you know, this year summer is kind of stressful for us. It's coming off with a kind of difficult start. Josh's car broke down Wednesday. I actually picked Wednesday up at work and ended up leaving early because his car broke down on the side of the interstate on his way home from work. So I had to go and rescue him. And it turns out, like, I guess there's a heater core or a coolant hose or something that's bad, but that needs replaced, otherwise the car tries to overheat. We were lucky enough to get it home without any more damage being done to the car. And then a lot of you know that Bruiser, my orange PT Cruiser that I used to drive around, has been broken down for... It'll be close to a year now, actually, in the fall. But, yeah, so I've been driving my mom's truck around, which incidentally has something going on with the tire right now. Like, there's something rubbing against the tire. So we're down all of our vehicles right now. Josh's boss was awesome enough to let us use his van until we get his car fixed. So we're just trying to deal with that and the stress with that. And then also, you know, we're both picking up hours and working all the time. And we're both trying to balance the whole work and fun thing. So it's really difficult because he gets called in a lot where he's a general manager and, you know, he doesn't necessarily have a set schedule like I do. And he's lucky to get one day off a week. So it's just been pretty stressful there. But we're good. We're dealing with it. We're trudging through the waters. It's okay. So anyway, the purpose of this video was to do the 7 Witchy Questions tag, of which I know for a fact I was tagged by Raven. And I think she said that Madame Luna tagged me as well, or at least tagged everybody that had done her previous tag video. To do the tag. Now, I could have sworn, excuse me, sorry, I could have sworn that I had done this tag already, and I think I have recorded it, but I probably decided not to upload it for whatever reason, or never got around to it. It's probably on my iPad anyway. But I'm just going to go ahead and redo it. I wrote my questions down and my answers in my little journaling book thing here. So without further ado, let's get started. The 7 Witchy Questions Tag. First question is, what was your biggest spell disaster? I started off pretty young, spells, even though they weren't really introduced to me very early, as much so as like little simple rituals or whatever. But my first biggest spell I think I've mentioned that I ever did was a protective circle around my mom's house, because I used to raise chickens, and the neighbor used to have a dog that would come in and take the chickens, and it really upset me, and we had spent a lot of money in raising these chickens because I was in 4-H, and a lot of them were breeding chickens. They weren't like meat chickens. But so I was really upset. You know, these were my pets basically. And I put a protective circle around the house, and that worked. But nothing really went wrong with that one. It was really, I think, maybe the second or third spell I had ever written. And I was not a very popular kid in school. Especially when I was younger, I used to get picked on a lot. And so I decided I was going to do not a hex or a curse, because I knew that those were wrong. But I was trying to work around that and do a spell to keep someone away from me. More like a binding, probably, or a reversal binding. So, you know. But anyway, I had tried to light the paper that I had written the words of power on, and I was inside my mom's house, and I didn't think enough about it, and didn't have anything to catch the paper as it was burning, or catch the paper's ashes. So I burnt myself and dropped the paper on the carpet, and Mom's carpet is still a little singed from that. So that was probably the biggest disaster I've had. I almost caught the house on fire. Lesson learned. Yeah. Number 2, what is something you wish someone would have told you when you first started? Now, I had to think about this one, but I chose, it's really not that difficult, just flow with it, you be you. One of the biggest things that I like to hear, or that I need to hear in my adult life, is it's fine, no use crying over spilled potions. Everything you do, everything you say, it'll be okay. No matter what you do, it'll be okay. And my mom says this a lot to me. And I think when I first started, if I could have heard those words, it would have been really great. But I've turned out fine. Everything's cool. But it would have been nice to hear those words, just because I stress over everything. And that is craft included. Number 3, what is your biggest pet peeve? My biggest pet peeve, and I had to think about this one too, is when witches, or people in general, who say they are spiritual or care about other people in general and are light healers or workers of light, or they're all the time talking about love and just being a positive person. Sorry, my battery went wonky. But being a positive person, my biggest pet peeve is when these people talk negatively about each other or other people, or talk down about each other or get into arguments and just rip each other apart, basically. And I see some of this on YouTube. I've never been, thankfully, in the middle of this. Um, and I try and just, go with the flow and not to get into it because I have a lot of friends on YouTube. And, my biggest fear is that I'm going to get inside of some kind of YouTube drama or Facebook drama, and I'm just not about that. Like, I really don't want that. Like, I'm not an angry person. At least I don't think I am. And yeah, and also, and this is going to be kind of hypocritical, but anytime somebody brings up YouTube drama, I'm like, really? Like, that's a pet peeve of mine, and I'm bringing it up, so I'm annoying myself right now, so I'm going to move on. But anyway, yes, anytime anybody in general is just rude or a jerk or a turd, that's a pet peeve. 4. When did you first know you were a witch? Intuitively, I knew when I was very young. I didn't know exactly what a witch was when I was younger. You see the Wicked Witch. Excuse me. You see the Wicked Witch and the Good Witch on The Wizard of Oz, and I grew up watching things like Harry Potter when I was a little bit older, but even before that, I knew I was a witch. Not a witch, but I believed in magic, and I had correspondences for the alphabet and the English alphabet, and numbers and such, and so that kind of thing has always kind of been around. So intuitively, I knew I was a magic worker or a practitioner of magic since I was very young. And I grew up with like Disney and all that, so that helped too. It made sense. Number 5, your favorite witchy book. If I can't say my own book of shadows, I'm gonna say probably if I had to pick one, and it's really hard to pick one because they're like my babies, but I would pick Scott Cunningham's Book of Shadows. But I don't like just picking one, so there's that. Number 6, best witchy TV show or movie. And this question is not fair either. So I'm going to go with 2 answers. My favorite TV show is Charmed, and not because it's not something, all of us have seen Charmed, I'm sure. If you're a witch, you've heard of Charmed, if not, seen it, So it's not that it's, it is bad to watch if you're actually looking for actual pagan information or Wiccan information. But the artistry of the show, the whole family orientation of it, I love. I love it. And it is forever my favorite TV show. And I have all 8 seasons in the big Book of Shadows collection, and I love it. Favorite movie? Practical Magic, because it is closer to the actual craft. They don't take it. I love how, Raven, you said they don't take the movie to a dark place. They don't take the craft to a dark place. Even though they're working with the afterlife and that kind of evil, not evil, but negative force, that dark force that's in the movie, they don't take the craft as a whole to a dark place. They actually bring it up. Unlike the craft. Now, I love the craft, but the craft is all about the dark side of witchcraft, the dark side of the craft. How, if you're not careful, how things can go south pretty quickly. In the craft, they raise it up. They make emphasis, like Raven said, they make emphasis on there not being a devil in the craft, and I think that's a huge deal as to why I like it. And also the artistry of that movie as well is amazing. I love it. And number 7, have you ever doubted your path? Of course, I have doubted my path. And for anybody that tells you that they have not doubted something, especially when it comes to a path you're walking on, your life. To me, that is a normal thing. Should you live in doubt? No. But I think doubting yourself is a natural thing. It's not something you should, it is something you should try and do less of rather than more of. Um, but I've definitely doubted my path. You know, when I first started, I used to think I was crazy. Um, there for a while, I thought I was scared to death I was getting into something negative or evil because that's what people kept telling me. And I mean, it takes a lot to really walk past that. And even still, to this day, I still doubt my path. I still doubt every now and then, you know, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to keep walking this path? When I broke up with my ex, you know, I had a hard time. Well, with both of my exes, when I broke up with them, I had a hard time accepting myself because if your significant other is not pagan, you'd understand. Like like it's similar to coming out as gay. Really, it is because you don't know if somebody's gonna look at your path negatively or you know if they're gonna know that it's not that big of a deal or what have you. Because when you actually tell somebody that you end up caring about that you're a witch for the first time, it's literally, I mean, it's coming out of the broom closet. It's coming out of the closet. It's terrifying. So, I mean, even then, you know, I kind of doubted my path, but my path ultimately has kept me strong, and I remember that, and I accept that. You know, it is something that even through breakups, you know, I'd go through witchy stages because my gods won't betray me. You know, my spirituality will not betray me. Um, so I've stuck with it. But yeah, I mean, of course, I've doubted my path. I've doubted my sanity, even, which I am not sane. None of the best people are. But anyway, so that was my 7 Witchy Questions tag, and I hope that it was in good enough detail. Of course, as with any video, if anybody has questions, feel free to message me, add me on Facebook, on Instagram, whatever. Yeah, and in turn, I'm going to tag anybody who wants to do the tag. But more specifically, I want to tag CR Witchy Bear. Witchy Bear, I think this is an awesome tag for you to do. I think it would be cool for you to include this in your blog, maybe? Maybe? But I'd really like to know, like, you know, some of the answers for you. So, Witchy Bear, you are tagged, and everybody, I hope you have an awesome week. Happy Moon Day, and I hope everybody had an awesome new moon. Blessed be.